Hello everybody, Steve Carey here, and welcome back to another video about making AI easy. Recently, I made a video about reusable prompts, and the big idea there was for any type of task that you do on a regular repeating basis, I created a prompt template that you can use and change only a small variable in that prompt and generate unique content for that week. The example that I did was making an email newsletter. And each time you want to make a new newsletter, you would just change one small section in that prompt with updated notes or content, and it would generate a new email newsletter that looked consistent with your brand, style, and tone of voice. Now we're going to pick up on that same theme, but I'm going to take it a step further. Instead of doing one bit of content at a time, I'm going to show you how you can use the same concept of a reusable prompt and generate bulk content with this. And this taps into the idea of abundance. And it's a different way to think about generating content, and it's part of being in that AI first mindset. There's no limit to how much content you can create, but as humans, we're often limited to the task at hand or the task that has to get done today. There's no reason why you couldn't generate a draft for an entire year of email campaigns if you know what you're going to talk about. So I'm going to show you two examples today that illustrate this point, and I'm going to start out with an example of some content that I've been working with. I have a whole list of topics that I've been brainstorming using AI to help me generate new topics to talk about in these videos. Now, just for example, here's what this table looks like, and I'm just illustrating this to show a theme and how you could adapt the same type of table in your planning. I've got in column A just the day and a theme and a big idea that goes with the theme, and then here's some more detailed content. Now, this is pretty lightweight, but just for the sake of example, this column C is more detailed than the rest. This could easily represent a monthly campaign for a newsletter or a whole year's campaign. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to use this as an input for my prompt. Now, you'll recall in my earlier video, I showed you how to make a reusable prompt template. And just for review, here's what that looks like. Here is the reusable prompt template. I'll open it up in the middle so it's easier to see that it starts at the top with a command, and then we have our placeholders and variables. The only thing that we need to change in this reusable content is this information in here. The rest of this information is everything that defines our tone, our style, the format, and some examples for what the email should look like. So AI will generate the same style and type of email each time. But what we are changing is the content here because that's what it's writing about. So that is the reusable template that I created recently. Now we're going to use the same prompt and we're going to change just a tiny amount to generate a whole set of emails to go with my brainstorm idea for AI topics. So I've got a brand new blank chat screen going. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste in my table of topic ideas. So this is just literal copy and paste from my spreadsheet. Then at the bottom, I'm going to add my updated prompt. And the only thing that really has changed in this prompt is right here. This instruction right here is write an email newsletter for each record in the campaign. And then down below in that about section that we modify, I've simply said reference the attached table and the column labeled about. And this is the column right here that is going to reference. And the goal for doing this is now that I've entered the table and this prompt, it's going to generate an email for each record in that table. So you can imagine if you have a campaign for a month, a year, whatever your schedule is, you can develop draft emails for each one of these steps. And the reason this is so powerful is that we can get all of this done ahead of time. And yes, these are draft emails. They will need to be edited, but there's no reason why we have to come back and do this one by one by one. When you can do things in bulk, it really changes how we think about getting things done, and it accelerates how fast we can do things. This is part of the AI first mindset, and it takes a while to get your head wrapped around this if you haven't done this before, because it seems unnatural for us to generate an entire year's worth of email in one shot. But once you get used to this, you'll realize how empowering this can be. Okay, so let's go and do one more example. Because instead of just talking about what I've been doing with AI, I wanted to bring to life a real life example of something I know that happens. So I've done a bit of work in the past for wineries in the Oregon region. They will generate an entire calendar for the upcoming year and start building campaigns around that. And because it's a cyclical business, it's really easy to start developing a plan for the upcoming year. And being now that we're at the end of 2024, this is an exercise that many companies are going through regardless of their products. They're starting to think about 2025. So in this case, I've got an entire campaign that I built for a fictitious winery in Oregon called Cascade Crest. And I built an entire email campaign generated by AI. And here's an idea of what that looks like. So you got each month is a different email campaign, and you have a theme for each month, and I've got some content for that theme. This could easily be 2 emails per month, but for sake of example, I just wanted to do 1 email. And everything here is generated by AI because I made up a fake winery, but this is typical of a calendar that you would see in a cyclical schedule like a winery. So I've got a brand new chat open, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the table that I just showed you for the entire campaign for this winery. And then I'm going to add my modified prompt to align with this winery. And the only thing that's different about this prompt is I added its own voice, its own tone, and its own email example. So it'd be different than mine. And I'll go ahead and press start. And what we'll do, it will generate an email for each month of the year once it reads through this. And this is pretty consistent. And the email examples I'm using are very simple. I want to show one more thing. I want to show the power of how these reusable prompts can be so compelling. So here is Claude made by Anthropic, and I'm going to do the same exercise here. I'm going to add in the table that I made for the campaign for the winery, and here is the prompt. Now it's going to do the same thing that we saw in ChatGPT. It's going to create an email for each month. And the point of doing this is to show that in between these different language models is you can use these prompts and they're interchangeable in almost every situation. And you'll see that Anthropic's Claude is doing the same thing that ChatGPT did. And if you prefer the output that you get from Claude, you're still able to use the same prompts. And that's why developing reusable prompts and highly structured prompts for activities that are repeating is such a good idea. And that's the big difference that I see between ChatGPT and Claude is that Claude will often not follow through on a series of steps because it wants to check in with the user before it continues. And the same thing can be done with Google's Gemini or any other language model. So I hope this has been informative and inspiring for you. It's a good opportunity to develop a reusable prompt and build it around the use case that you are working on a regular basis. As I mentioned in my previous video when I showed how to do it, you can use it for emails, you can use it for creating product descriptions. It can be used for nearly any application. I just happen to be showing how to do emailed newsletters with this. It is so powerful that you can create content in abundance. We're limited often in how we think about this based off of our history and our experience. And typically, we do things as they're needed. We do things based off of a project plan. This enables us to get so far ahead in our work. It gives us time to think more strategically and accelerate what we're doing. This has huge implications for your business, and it's going to unlock a lot of different opportunities for you. So as always, I hope this is useful. I'm very interested to see and hear what you do with this and always looking for your feedback. Until next time, take care.